On a quiet autumn evening, beneath the golden canopy of a maple tree, Evelyn sat on a wooden bench, lost in the pages of her favorite book. The cool breeze carried the scent of fallen leaves and the distant laughter of children playing. She was unaware that someone was watching her, admiring the way her chestnut hair danced in the wind. Liam, a quiet artist with a sketchbook in hand, had been sketching the scenery when his eyes fell on her. He was captivated, not by her beauty alone, but by the way she seemed to belong to another world, one of stories, dreams, and poetry. Without thinking, he began to draw her, each stroke capturing the delicate curve of her lips, the way her fingers clutched the book as if it held secrets only she could understand. When Evelyn finally looked up, her hazel eyes met his deep blue ones. A silent connection passed between them, an unspoken understanding that neither could explain. Days turned into weeks, and their encounters became intentional. They met under the same maple tree, sharing pieces of their souls, Evelyn with her love for literature and Liam with his passion for painting. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, like ink on paper, weaving a story of their own. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Liam hesitated before reaching into his bag. "I made something for you," he said softly, handing her a framed painting. It was her, reading under the golden leaves, lost in her world. Evelyn traced the strokes with trembling fingers, feeling the depth of his emotions in each line. "This is how I see you," he whispered, his voice filled with vulnerability. Evelyn looked up, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. "I have something for you too," she said, handing him a worn-out book with a note tucked inside. Liam unfolded the note and read, "Every love story begins somewhere, but ours is my favorite chapter yet." In that moment, under the soft glow of the streetlights, he kissed her. It wasn't just lips meeting, it was a promise, a silent vow that their love would be eternal. Love, however, is never without trials. Liam was offered an opportunity to study art in Paris, a dream he had never dared to chase. Evelyn knew he had to go, but the thought of being apart tore at her soul. "You have to follow your dream, Liam," she said, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. "But promise me one thing, paint our love into every stroke." "And you?" Liam asked, holding her face in his hands. "I'll write about us in every word, in every story," she whispered. They parted with heavy hearts but unwavering faith. Months turned into years, letters turned into long video calls, and distance became a test of patience. But through it all, their love endured, written in ink and painted in colors that refused to fade. 5 years later, on a crisp autumn evening, Evelyn sat beneath the same maple tree, flipping through an old book filled with Liam's sketches. Suddenly, a familiar voice broke through her thoughts. "You're still as breathtaking as the first day I saw you." She turned, and there he was, taller, more mature, but with the same deep blue eyes that had captured her heart years ago. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she whispered, "You came back." "For you," he said, taking out a small canvas. "And for this." It was a painting of the same maple tree, but this time, there were two figures, one reading, the other sketching. Beneath it, the words, "Every love story begins somewhere, but ours never has to end." As their lips met once again, Evelyn knew, some love stories aren't just written in books or painted on canvas. Some love stories are whispered by the universe, etched into the very fabric of eternity.